chances are if you're just getting into leathercraft or leatherworking, you're gonna see one of these. You're probably gonna buy one of these. They're not great. So we're gonna see if we can make this work as good as a high-end skiving knife. Now I understand this isn't the best steel, this isn't the highest quality of tool, but for most of us that are just getting started in leathercraft, number one, you probably don't want to spend $200-300. You probably don't even want to spend $50 on something like this. You don't know if you're going to use it that often. You don't know the benefits of a skiving knife yet, but you've heard that you should have one. So to test my theory on whether or not this can be a good skiving knife, I went ahead and ordered some honeycomb sharpening plates, and we're going to give it a test. I also got a honing guide. So let's throw this in the honing guide, test these plates out, give it a good strop, and see if it can actually be salvaged. Okay, so I figured the best way to start with this is to do a quick test. So let's take Amazon skiving knife and just give it a go. So I mean, it's not bad, it cuts, but I had to give it a lot of pressure, right? So I mean, it's just not the best. Now let's try the other edge. Okay, still pretty good. So here you can see the amount of pressure. It's ridiculous how much pressure I have to put on this to try and cut through. So it's not sharp. Here's how I think we're gonna fix it. So what I bought here are some honeycomb diamond sharpening plates. So I've got a 400, I've got a 600, 1000, and a 1200. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this fixed angle knife sharpener. And see if we can sharpen the skiving knife. Now I know chances are somebody out there is going, but this isn't made for sharpening a skiving knife. And I mean, you're probably right. However, it's a way that I know I can get a perfect angle on the blade because it's pretty bad right now. I tried to do this myself just by holding it at what the angle was that I thought it should be, and you've seen the results. So this is a way for somebody that's maybe not experienced with sharpening a skiving knife to allow them the opportunity to be able to try and sharpen a skiving knife. Okay, so how this works is that you've got this ball bearing on the bottom, and that rolls. And then you've got two channels. So this top channel here, right, and there's a bit of an angle in there. You can kind of see that it's kind of cut at an angle, just this little slot here, and then the same over on this side. And you've got this inner one that works that I think will fit my skiving knife just about perfect. But the issue I've got is I need to make sure that it stays square so that we can kind of get that. And I'm not overly worried about it, because even if I have to use the 400 quite a bit to get a clean edge again, I think it'll help clean up kind of what I've done. I don't know if you can see, but I've rounded the edge here. So the edge is cut really well like you saw, but I've also done some damage here. Just getting it, I just did a bad job at trying to polish this or trying to sharpen this. So I'm trying to correct everything that I've done. Okay, so I did the squaring up off camera. The only square I have, unfortunately, is a framer square. So it's just a giant, like 2-foot square. But what I did was made sure that this was sitting at the bottom of the channel. So at the bottom of these two grooves that are cut, it's sitting down at the bottom of that. So that way when we drag this back, everything should be squared up. Now it is in there tight, so it shouldn't move. It's got a bit of a wobble top to bottom, but I can't pull it out. And then I used just a flathead screwdriver just to tighten this up. So let's start out with the 400. See, we're starting to get a bit of an edge there. I can see where it's polished up a little more now. So I'm gonna give it a few more drags. Pretty decent edge there, I think. Okay, let's move on to the 600. Now let's run through all 4 of them, just as a test. So I know that that's not, I mean, it's not the whole process that we should be doing, but just as a test, let's just loosen this out. Let's pull that piece of leather back over. Okay, let's go to a new corner. And again, I'm just, all right, so we're not quite there yet. I mean, still tough to get through, which I figured it was gonna be. Because now what we have to do is come in with something like this. So this is a stainless steel polishing compound. So let's just take that out. Okay, so I feel like we're almost there. It's like, it's really good and polished on the front side, but I still feel like the back side's got a bit of a burr on it that I can feel. So I'm just gonna polish it. I'm actually gonna give it, I'm gonna try just on the 1200. I'm gonna try this back side just on the 1200 to kind of give it a bit of a cleanup as far as the actual cutting edge goes, and then do a polish on that side, and we'll see how it cuts after that. Okay, so I ran it through one more time. I went 400 all the way through up to the 1200 once more. I think I still had a bit of a, just a rounded edge on there instead of an actual polished and sharpened edge. And then I ran it over the polishing compound one more time. So let's pull this out again and let's just see what we've got this time. So that's twice around, kind of through both. Now again, this thing was pretty bad. So I think if you had one of these just straight out of the box, you wouldn't need to go through it twice, but because of the damage that I had done to it trying to sharpen it the first time, I think it just had a lot of issues. Now before, I mean, it just took so much pressure, and look at that. I mean, that's much better. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there we have it. To answer the question, can you take a really cheap skiving knife and actually put a decent edge on it? Yeah, you can. I've linked to both of these products on Amazon down in the description. These aren't affiliate links, so I'm not getting anything by you clicking on them. I just want to be sure that I can share these products with you if you're just getting started. And again, if you've done the damage to your skiving knife that I did, trying to sharpen it without any kind of a guide or anything, you might want to give this a try. So I hope that helps. All right, everybody, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop me a like, hit the subscribe button, throw me a comment, let me know what you want to see. I plan on making these videos every couple of weeks, trying to upload content that I feel is suited to the beginner. I know there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of videos you can watch, so I appreciate you being here. Get out there and make some leather stuff. Get out there and make some stuff with leather. Yeah, I don't know how to end these videos yet. We'll get there. It's coming. If you got an idea for a tagline, throw it in the comments.